I have a secret that I will reveal on this sticky note later. I've been reading more books recently, and I can safely say that I Have a Secret was better than I expected. If I had to rank all the Yoru Somino books I've read so far, it would be in this order. These two are probably equal, actually. Hold on. Oh, there's a lot of hands. It'd be like this, except it's more like this. And then this is like the stragglers down here. I Have a Secret continues the strange trend of adding unnecessary supernatural elements to a fairly grounded story, but these powers our 5 main characters have are far less intrusive than you'd think. They're gimmicky and don't amount to much, but by the time you realize that, you're already fairly invested. I genuinely recommend this book because I always respect books with shifting first-person perspectives. It's interesting figuring out what characters know what, and it's just also not that long despite being redundant with what it's saying. Go read it. I'm gonna criticize now. Real quick in this interim, I never do this, but I wanted to show off my subscribed, not subscribed ratio. I didn't realize how bad it was. Please subscribe. We have 5 main characters this time around. We have Kyo, Mickey, Looney, Zuka, and L. TLDR, Kyo and Mickey like each other. Looney says weird stuff. L's introverted and has anxiety, and I'll talk about Zuka later. Each of the 5 chapters showcases someone else's strange abilities. Kyo can see exclamation and question marks above people's heads whenever they are excited and confused. Looney can see people's heartbeats, and the others can see very open-ended, non-intuitive things that I don't really understand. I still enjoyed it though. It was more of a hook to grab my attention as a cute yet ultimately arbitrary gimmick which segued into better elements of the plot, namely its characters. Though I must first complain about 2 people we're introduced to. Never before have I been forced to question the romantic compatibility of 2 imaginary high schoolers so much, but I abhor Kyo and Mickey's relationship because it neither works nor feels deserved. The whimsical, energetic pixie dream girl Mickey has no reason to fancy Kyo, and his genuine shyness, it's how he's characterized for most of the book, so open with his emotions, yet introverted, which feels like she's so shy, but she's also the most beautiful girl in the class, but is also a loner type beat. But I genuinely don't care about those 2 together. Their point of views were the first 2, and were good for introducing the plot and other better characters. Well, semblances of plot. It hinges mostly on the eventuality of Kyo and Mickey getting together, but the branched off emotional struggles of Looney, Zuka, and L were far more engaging. I don't know if this makes sense, but they're the main characters that don't do well as protagonists. I think it's time to confess my secret. Are you ready? Despite a lot of my previous videos declaring my love of tsunderes and smart, snarky characters, a new trope dominated my favorite characters tier list. I love himbos! They're so stupid yet so considerate, and that juxtaposition is so lovely. I love Zuka. He's my favorite character by far. He's really funny and simultaneously oblivious yet sharp, so I hate the inconsistency with his established character when Somino chooses to add an air of mystery. During Looney's arc, we are alerted to how Zuka's heartbeat doesn't change. He purposely manipulates it or something to keep it so consistent. His composure only wavers once during the beginning, and that little mystery was the whole premise of Looney's arc. I really enjoyed that because Mickey's story laid that foundation already. Mickey has the power to visualize a beam above people's heads that rock between happy and sad. That was a very bad demonstration. Yet Zuka's is always flat. It was something I really cared about and wanted to know what was up with that. Unfortunately, a lot of intrigue is left open-ended since there's no real explanation. His perspective mostly details a completely different conflict between L, Zuka, and Kyo, and I'm further reminded of how little patience I have for bad high school romance. It didn't read like Zuka, it read like an insightful high schooler. In fact, most characters' writings feels quite similar the further into the story you go. For a story with 2 characters as playful as Looney and Zuka, it's weird how both of them are so calculating in their minds and don't differentiate much while reading. Whether this is the fault of the translator or the original author is unknown. I wonder if third person limited would have just been better than the first person's perspective we're given, because the similar ways of speaking genuinely took me out of the story at times. Ironically, Kyo and Miki's thoughts are unique, but they're also annoying. So what am I complaining about? If the sameness is the part that I liked, I think it just says more about the failure of the multiple perspectives despite my appreciation at the attempt. It's not like any of the stories link well together anyways. So what do we get from this book as a whole? I guess our main takeaway should be as follows. What do we discover in other people that makes us love them? This is a question that's brought up on the first page. I don't know if this is really ever answered. I'm surprised how drab everyone's secrets ended up being. Zuka likes a girl. Whoa. Elle is scared of losing her best friend. Whoa. Miki is stupid, etc. High stakes for these high schoolers maybe, but I stopped caring so much towards the latter half. It's even addressed by Elle. With every new secret I learned, they kept getting dumber and dumber. When it came to the things left unspoken, we inevitably ended up exaggerating their complexity in our minds. Knowing there was a secret was more interesting than the answer. The importance of mysteries within relationships, and more so the trust that the mystery of how we view each other is worth keeping around. Wow, that was a confusing sentence. Hold on. It's the believe in the me that believes in you, but rewritten as trust me that despite my not saying, any secrets I have are not detrimental to you. Oh god damn it, I just realized that this whole story is about dealing with anxiety. It's a story that attempts to grab you with supernatural romance featuring multiple perspectives, but concludes as a decently written slice of life about coming of age worries whose platonic relationships act as the real heart. They all put on these faces to protect themselves from exposing their true selves, but realize that no one's been a threat worth shielding against in the first place. I don't have anything else to say. Second secret. The first time I read I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, I literally didn't clock it as a romance at all because I'm bad at recognizing that. I thought it was a story about two really good platonic friends. Reading this book made me think maybe I was right the first time. I'm scared to reread that book and scrutinize it with my big adult mind. Anyways, thanks for watching. I have a running list of scripts for longer video ideas, but I've run out of things for shorts. If you have any recommendations. I haven't been watching much anime recently, but I should get back into that for the New Year's. Or maybe I'll just continue rewatching the same stuff I always have been, like I do now. Bye.